Hello again. It is Wing Nation presented by Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength. Talking sprint car racing, our favorite time of the week, and we are so glad that you have joined us. Erin Evernham and Steve Post here in our Concord, North Carolina studios, and we are ready to go for a great program. How are you, Erin?
I'm good. Good. Just got back from spring break.
You did spring break,
it's a lot
absolutely.
different at 41 than it was at 21.
Not the same at 41 than 21. Okay, so you were down in Florida, right?
Yeah. We did some days at Universal and SeaWorld and then some days at the beach, but I think I need a...
There was nobody down there. SeaWorld was kind of quiet.
No, when
Universal
you go,
like
the
spring break.
Yeah, the number one spring break week, it's just really empty. You have the parks to yourself.
Yeah.
No, it was packed with people. But honestly, they have those express passes. You can make it manageable, but I don't really do well in those crowds. Like that Harry Potter land that they have is like ridiculously popular. And you're like,
yeah,
it's not really my thing. But when you have a son and daughter who love it, you go do it.
Absolutely. That's it.
So now I need a real vacation.
A real vacation, an adult vacation. Yes, indeed. Bottoms up. Here we go. Yeah. Wineries, here we come. Yeah.
Exactly. That's more my speed.
There we go.
How are you doing?
I'm fantastic. Doing really well. Appreciate, and those of you see it this weekend, the MAV TV show, the Rev TV show, you filled in. Seth Bergman's going to be the guest. Man, I got this. I had a great weekend of racing. I did the past super late models at Hickory. I did the Smart Modifieds.
Is that the Easter Bunny?
That was the Easter Bunny 150. Yeah. Great program.
My buddy won it, right? Ryan Moore?
Ryan Moore won, that's right.
He used to be my card chief on the ARCA
Was he really?
series. Yeah.
No kidding. Yeah, he won the race. Saturday, I went to Southern National, watch the Smart Modifieds, where Matt Hirschman won. Big shocker there. Big money Matt. And then Sunday, I went to the Trans Am race at Charlotte.
The Roval.
The Roval. It was great. I got home Sunday. Everything was rocking and rolling really well. Went to bed. I'm like, man, I've got a Monday and everything. Middle of the night, I got a little queasy. By Monday morning, it was ew. Oh, man, sick to my stomach, fever, body aches, everything. 2 o'clock, I lost the queasiness. 5 o'clock, the fever broke, and here we are. No, exactly. It's
I need my mask back.
Well, exactly. There's and I had two other friends. There's this apparently this stomach virus. That's a 24-hour.
It's quick.
Yes, exactly. And so, man, I had it. I'm telling you, yesterday. So I appreciate you filling in and doing the TV show with Ashley with Seth Bergman. I'm telling you, 24 hours ago, man, I was out.
Yeah, that's the worst.
And now, I mean, I feel like I've had something, but I'm fine as far as everything goes. But man, I'll tell you what, just the trials and tribulations of 2022, we have had quite a time here with it. It's been.
I feel like every week one of us.
Every week there's something going on here between Ashley. Of course, she's ready to have that kid anytime now.
Yeah, 15 days, I think.
15 days, I think, is when it is when it's scheduled.
Yeah, unless he decides
to come a little earlier. So we're down to counting days.
I think she is ready.
I talked to her at Christmas. She was ready. So, I mean, she is way ready now. Yeah. So between all of that and everything, we're just, it's just been crazy. It's good to hang out in the studio.
Yeah. It's good to be back. And actually both here.
Actually both in place. This is, I think, how it's supposed to be. Our Hefner Racing product hot topics. Pennsylvania, lots of excitement, lots of drama. Justin Peck won Williams Grove, Brent Marks won Lincoln, and Anthony Macri became the first multiple winner in Pennsylvania. He won at Lincoln back on the 5th of March. He won at Port Royal on Sunday, but not without a lot of excitement with him and Logan Wagner.
Yeah.
A lot of shenanigans during the race, a lot of shenanigans during a red flag period, and then even more shenanigans following on Twitter because the never in the middle of controversy mediator, Danny Dietrich, has now got involved to mediate everything.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, or sell T-shirts. And depends on which side he's talking about, whose T-shirts he's selling. It's Pennsylvania. It's sprint cars. We're at full song.
Fun for us.
We are the world is right. Everything is normal because there's angst out of the Keystone State.
Drama.
There's drama in the Keystone State. They are just, and
it's early for the drama.
It's real early for the drama. We got a long season of drama, no doubt about it. So stay tuned. Lots of wild stuff. World of Outlaws. We're in California. Carson Macedo won at Merced. Rain won at Ocean. I'm bummed about that because I think Ocean was the one that stood out to me, especially with like Justin Sanders, the way he runs around that racetrack. I think that's the one. That was the. I mean, I love Tulare. They're going to Bakersfield, so they're headed south to Bakersfield in Paris tomorrow. This weekend, and Merced's fine. I was really anxious to see what Ocean is because you've got a couple of guys that really dial that place well. So we'll catch them in the fall, I guess. We'll see how that goes. Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour. The first races under new management of Terry Maddox. Terry took over the ownership from Emmett Hahn, and great weekend at Devil's Bowl. 46 cars.
That's a lot of cars.
Great start. Wayne Johnson won on Friday. Wayne, we're going to talk to him on the program this week. And Seth Bergman won on Saturday. Again, we'll talk to Seth. He's on our television show this week. I do want to talk a little bit about the Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour, the 2020 version. First and foremost, the scale of the tour. It's the National Tour because it's the one that covers all of the regions, but it's not quite as national in scope. They're not going out west to Skagit. They're not coming over to Pennsylvania. And I think Terry, when he took this over, was just like, okay, what makes sense right now?
Yeah.
I think ultimately this gets back to, Skagit and California and Pennsylvania. Yep. But I think right now Terry was like, okay, let's just regroup. And it's really a center of the country core group.
Yep.
And I think it's good. They've increased the point fund. And honestly, Erin, when you think about this, Terry made this decision months ago when you look at gas prices and stuff. Yeah. It's like, I don't know necessarily hauling a car all the way out to Skagit and Cottage Grove or out to Pennsylvania. Terry might have been a little bit ahead of the curve here on this, with fuel prices and stuff like that. So there's a point fund increase, 55 or 50,000 for the champion, but it's 10,000 for 10th and up and trim. They've got a great cast of characters racing. Blake Hahn, Matt Covington, Dylan Westbrook, Seth Bergman, Ryan Bickett, Garrett Williamson, and Brandon Anderson are returning drivers or drivers that have been around for a little bit as far as the tour goes. But 5 rookies, Chase Porter, Landon Britt, Dylan Postier, Jason Martin, and Kyler Johnson. So I really like this. A dozen drivers right now they're carrying across the tours, across the region.
Yep.
They were down in Texas this past weekend at Devil's Bowl. Then they go to the Mid-South region, I-30 this weekend. Man, that's just
a good one.
Yeah, it's a good one. So it's going to be good. So wishing our friends with the ASCS National Tour the best as they get into this new era. It's strange, a new era to have Emmett Hahn not at the helm. It's change. It really is. But it's just the natural evolution of things. And Terry Maddox, I mean, he's the flagger for the Chili Bowl.
Yep.
But he's had a lot of promotional efforts in the past, and to take this over, I think he's the perfect person.
He's got a great mentor.
He's got a great mentor, no doubt. He's the perfect person to take this. I think Terry is late 20s. So, I mean, the future is bright for 360 Sprint Car Racing, ASCS National Tour. And so stay tuned. I think some really good things from there. Their partnership is with Flow Racing, and so they're on there. So we certainly wish all of the Lucas Oil ASCS Tour racers the best. Again, Seth Bergman, one of the regulars on the tour, he was on our TV program. He'll be on our TV program. Wayne's going to be all over the place, but he did pick up the win. So Wayne all over the place. Imagine that. Shocker. Absolutely. We're also going to talk today to Buddy Kofoid. Who is, speaking of all over the place, he's all over the place as well with USAC Midget Racing and with Wing Sprint Car Racing. So fun stuff. And there you have it, our Hefner Racing Products Hot Topics. Hefner Racing Products has a wonderful, wonderful website. Easy to shop the entire line of Hefner Racing products. Go to www.hrpracing.com from desktop, or right on your phone.
Yep, and first-time online orders use promo code MRN at checkout for 10% off their first order.
You know what they showed? They had on their Facebook page. I put it on our Facebook group. A brand new mule.
Oh boy!
Yeah,
I didn't
brand
see
new.
It.
Yeah,
they got. Were you the test driver for it?
They refurbished one. It was kind of, I think, like a rebuild, and it was right now on sale. Right now, it might be gone by now. But I mean, I saw Jeff put that on there this morning. I feel like they should
use you for some advertising.
Yeah, too. I mean, we'll stress test the dickens out of that thing. So, friends at hrpracing.com. We do need to step away. The Sage Fruit Hotline's going to be busy, and when we come back, Buddy Kofoid, he joins us.
Power isn't born; it's built over time. For over 65 years, Hercules Tires has been providing the muscle to move more drivers, whatever the vehicle, whatever the terrain, and we back it with a powerful protection plan. So wherever the road or the trail takes you, we have the selection, value, and strength to get you there. Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.
Sage Fruit is a premium grower, packer, and shipper of Washington tree fruit. Apples, pears, and cherries, and it's always an exceptional eating experience, and they're grown in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. Not only is their produce healthy, but they are grown with such care and precision that you can count on each piece of fruit having exceptional flavor. High-quality fruit, exceptional flavor, healthy snacking. Make sure when you go to your local grocery store, ask for Sage Fruit. Sage Fruit, it's our first choice for quick and easy snacking.
Circle B Diecast is the new diecast outlet from Plan B Sales. What started as Lionel and Chase Authentics apparel distributor has grown into the largest distributor of diecast and now includes Auto World Greenlight Collectibles, Brand Art, Sam Bass Artwork, and University of Racing lines. They have a huge inventory. The folks at Circle B Diecast love racing and support drivers like Kyle Larson, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Christopher Bell, and many others with sponsorships and partnerships. And on orders over $20, use promo code MRN for free shipping. Check them out, circlebdiecast.com.
Wing Nation, presented by Hercules Tires, continues on. So glad to catch up with everybody here on the program. Glad you've joined us, and glad to jump over to the Sage Fruit Hotline. Joining us fresh off from a sprint car weekend in central Pennsylvania. He is the reigning champ of the USAC National Midget Tour. Buddy Kofoid's on the line. Hello, buddy. Welcome back to Wing Nation.
Hey, thanks for having me on. Always looking forward to talking with you guys.
Always great to catch up with you as well. So you got a chance to run Williams Grove and then a runner-up finish at Lincoln on Saturday. How was your Pennsylvania adventure? How did things go out there for you overall?
Yeah, it's been pretty good. Actually, that was the third weekend in the last 4 weeks that we've been out there in the Indy Race Parts car. So it's been fun to get out in Central PA and kind of race against the posse a little bit. And but yeah, no, this weekend was pretty good. Like you said, we ran second at Lincoln and had a lot of speed all day and came from eighth and was close at the end, but just kind of ran out of time. But yeah, like I said, it's always fun to get back in a sprint car with how busy my midget schedule is and everything else I'm doing. It's nice to kind of get back.
You talk about your midget schedule. You run non-wing sprint cars as well, a little bit of everything. But we opened the segment earlier talking about the PA posse, how it's a little bit different there. There's always a little bit of drama. How does it compare racing in Pennsylvania versus all the other? I mean, you've raced all over the country.
Yeah, no, it's obviously going in there, the posse is there's some of the best local guys around and really on the national level too. But also, there's just the hype around the posse and just the fans are kind of like no other. They're just, they love their sprint car racing for sure. So, it seems like there's a love-hate with the invaders that come in, but it seems like, it's been not too bad for me. So, but yeah, it's just hard racing and the tracks are just way different out there compared to anywhere else. It's, you get a lot of big tracks and, Lincoln is probably one of the smaller tracks out there, and it's still fairly big compared to the other tracks, like in Ohio, for example. But yeah, I know it's fun to get out and do that, and try and prepare maybe for the later races in the year, for the big stuff for sure.
Neat. Boy, there's so much racing over there, that is for sure. So, buddy, I want to talk a little bit about your USAC midget plans this year, returning with Keith, but while we're talking wing sprint cars, let's kind of keep it on that for the time being here. What is the game plan for this year? How much are we going to see you in wing sprint cars?
Yeah, so this year, I guess first off, on the midget side, I'm only focusing on USAC again this year, like last year, but as right now, I'll strictly be doing USAC only, so that kind of frees me up to run more sprint car races again, where, the last couple years, when I was doing every single midget race, it made it tough to get back in a wing car where I'd do maybe 15 to 25 shows at best. And so this year I'm hoping to get 40 or 50 plus, like I said, All-Stars and Outlaws and just all the big money shows that we can run, or that I can also run too. So.
Buddy, how do you make that schedule up? Obviously, you have a commitment to the USAC midgets, but how easy is it? Like far out, or some of it you just come as it goes, or as it is coming along? How do you set the schedule when you know you're going to be possibly here, there, and everywhere?
Some of it's the week of, or a week or two in advance, or some of it's months out. So I guess the nice thing with the USAC schedule is it comes out in December or January. As far as that's my main commitment with KKM and Toyota. So the nice thing with that is I live right near the shop, so I always ride with them. So that's really easy. And then the wing sprint car stuff that I have, we don't have an exact plan, but I've been racing for Bernie Stubjen with Indy Race Parts, and they're pretty close too. So I always just ride with them, and we always are talking. As of right now, the weather's hit or miss still, so it gives us options, and we go back or forth whether we want to go to Ohio or PA. So sometimes with right now how things are, you just gotta make it up as you go. But down the road, we'll have a set plan when everything starts going into motion.
Neat. Sounds really cool. What is there about Bernie that makes that 71 car, and it doesn't matter who gets in that car? I mean, you do a great job wheeling it, but a couple of years ago, Shane Stewart jumped in it, went over to Williams Grove and whooped the Outlaws' butts. Boy, what is there about Bernie that car is always good? He always brings a good piece to the track. Yeah,
Bernie's one of the best crew chiefs in the business. So, I'm pretty excited and proud to have someone like him, to work with someone like him, because to me there's quite a bit elite crew chiefs in the world, and to me Bernie is one of them. So to be one of the guys that gets to race with him is special. But he's just so in tune and switched on, and just can see a lot of things that maybe not all crew chiefs can see, or he just is easy to communicate with, and we just get along. And at the end of the day, it's fun. And, he loves it and wants to race just as much, if not more, than any driver he puts in his car.
That's awesome. Buddy, you're running such a diverse schedule, but when you think long-term, do you have long-term goals? Do you know if you want to be a wing driver, a non-wing driver? Do you want to race in NASCAR? What are your long-term thoughts? Are you content just racing whatever you can?
So as long as I can remember, I've always wanted to make it to Cup, and that hasn't ever changed. So, being with Toyota the last few years, and, the opportunities that they can provide for you if you run well, is pretty much endless. And, they have kind of made that dream or that goal available, or at least, the path is there if you can perform, right? So it's kind of just up to me to just keep doing my job and just win races. And, this year I have more pavement late model races with Wilson Motorsports. So I'm looking forward to that, and hopefully, that all goes well, and it can just lead into something, the next step above that, and just try and keep climbing up. But I also, I love running wing sprint cars, and that was kind of what I first started doing on a national level. And it's important to me to keep running sprint cars. But right now I love, running midgets or non-wing sprint cars, wing sprint cars, late models. I like doing it all. But at the end of the day, Cup is where I would love to be.
Boy, I'm telling you what, I'm listening to you talk, and I'm hearing Wilson Motorsports. They're, of course, the reigning champs of the Snowball Derby. They put together just a great, great super late model program. We've already talked about Bernie. There's that Keith Coons guy that has pretty good.
He's won a few.
Yeah, he's won a few races along the way as well. Buddy, how important is it to surround yourself with guys like that?
It's huge. The last few years I've been very fortunate to drive for great people like that are elite car owners or teams in the sport, or in whatever form of racing that they do. And as a driver, it's kind of satisfying, and at least takes some pressure off you a little bit. But, at the same time, I feel like I put more pressure on myself just because of who I'm driving for, and I know what they're capable of and what they've done. But I think it just helps you learn, faster and become a better driver. Also at the same time, the better you run, and depending on how well you do, those opportunities come.
For sure. Buddy, what's next on the schedule? You sticking around Pennsylvania, or do you have another form of motorsports to attend to?
So I think depending on weather this weekend, we plan on going to Ohio to Attica and Atomic. But if the weather's not good for that, I would assume we would try and run PA for 3 days in a row.
Nice.
So hopefully the weather holds off in either state and we can get some sort of racing in.
There you go. Sounds like good. Final question for you here. How are things looking on the USAC midget front with Keith Kuhn's program? You looking good to defend that championship? You feeling pretty good about yourself?
Yeah, for sure. No, I'm looking forward to getting back into midget again. It feels like it's been forever since
it's a weird schedule,
since
ain't it?
Florida.
Yeah,
it's been a while, and our next race is Kokomo April 8th and 9th, so it'll almost be 2 months or however long it's been. But no, I feel really confident, and Jarrett, Martin, and we always work really well, and so I have all the confidence in the world in them and what they do and the cars they provide for me. So it's kind of just up to me and Jarrett to communicate well and do our jobs and try and win this thing again.
See what happens. It's going to be fun, that's for sure. Buddy, we always appreciate the time when we get a chance to catch up with you. Thanks for joining us here on Wing Nation, and continued success in all forms of racing.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for having me on.
There we go. Buddy Kofoid joining us, part of the Toyota Racing Development Program. He mentions Wilson Motorsports. I've gotten really, I'm always into all forms of racing. But I am telling you, when it comes to super late model teams, asphalt super late model teams, that's kind of sort of where you want to be. I mean, and there's a lot of good wing sprint car teams, but if you're in a part-time situation, Bernie is kind of sort of where you want to be. And obviously, if you're in a midget program, Keith Kunz is definitely where you have to be. I mean, Buddy's done a nice job putting himself in really good spots.
Yeah,
good
he
seats.
sure has.
That is cool stuff. And the kid can wheel a car.
Yeah, I remember watching him in an outlaw kart years ago when I was doing some stuff for Speed Sport, and he was impressive them. And I remember some big names like Kyle Larson and others saying, keep an eye out.
Yeah,
Buddy,
we had Kyle Larson on Wing Nation years ago and said, is there some kid that we need to keep an eye on? And it didn't even flinch. Buddy Kofoid.
Yep.
And that was the first time I heard Buddy Kofoid's name, was when Kyle Larson said it. Pretty good endorsement. And I would say thus far, young Mr. Kofoid is doing all right. So from one young hotshot to another. Well, I'm not sure about one young hotshot, but let's step away, because when we come back, I got a race winner from this past weekend, Wayne Johnson. He joins us next.
Just like racing components, Aggressive Hydraulics purpose builds hydraulic cylinders to perform for customer-specific applications. They design and manufacture mobile-style, single-stage cylinders as well as multi-stage telescopic cylinders. It's a no one-size-fits-all approach with Aggressive Hydraulics. Hydraulic solutions for virtually every industry that uses hydraulic cylinders. They proudly design and manufacture all cylinders in the United States. Check out the video of their story at aggressivehydraulics.com.
Sage Fruit is a premium grower, packer, and shipper of Washington tree fruit. Apples, pears, and cherries, and it's always an exceptional eating experience, and they're grown in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. Not only is their produce healthy, but they are grown with such care and precision that you can count on each piece of fruit having exceptional flavor. High-quality fruit, exceptional flavor, healthy snacking. Make sure when you go to your local grocery store, ask for Sage Fruit. Sage Fruit, it's our first choice for quick and easy snacking. So we always have a little chance to chat during the break with our upcoming guests, and already it started. Let's go to the Sage Fruit Hotline. Joining us fresh off from a win at the Devil's Bowl in Mesquite, Texas, Wayne Johnson is on the line. Hello, Wayne. Welcome back to Wing Nation.
Thanks for having me, Steve and Erin. Always a pleasure.
Well, you're in trouble. Okay. Mentioned to you during the break that Erin has a birthday tomorrow, and you were way off on the years, my man. You were getting the stink eye over here.
No, I did good.
You did good.
No, you didn't do good. You're supposed to say I'm going to be 30. You're supposed to say I look like I'm that young.
That's what I said, 28.
No, baloney. You said 48.
2 more years.
He said 48.
No, I said 28. You didn't hear me. I said 28.
Oh, so he's in good shape. So he did better. Okay.
All right, maybe
there
my
we go.
hearing's
Yeah,
going
I said
at
28.
41.
You guys just didn't hear it right.
We didn't.
I'm smarter than that. Trust me.
Yeah, well, that was the thing, Wayne. Okay, it all boils down to this. I'm like, Wayne has got to be better. Wayne's got to be smarter than that. You've been around the horn
a
before.
Freudian slip. You
Now,
didn't realize you said 48.
Now, see, Wayne's smarter than that. Now that makes total sense. Now,
All right.
the 48 made no sense at all.
I said 28. You guys just heard it wrong.
That's
I
right.
promise.
Because I know you're smarter than that, Wayne.
I've known Wayne long enough that I'm not sure if I believe him.
Well, there you go. There you go. I know one thing about Wayne Johnson, Wayne. It had to feel good to park that car on the front stretch on Friday night down at the Devil's Bowl Speedway.
Yeah, it definitely did. It had been over 2 years since we'd been in Victory Lane, but we'd been on the road with the Outlaws, and I catch a lot of grief on the internet from running the Outlaws and stuff. I think my new nickname on the internet from the Outlaw deal is B-Main Wayne, but that just goes to show you guys how, all the listeners, how tough it is on that Outlaw deal to come back and run my very first 360 race at Devil's Bowl in actually almost 4 years and win a race. So makes a big difference.
Wayne, you've always been a fantastic driver, but when you look at the 2 years you spent on the Outlaw Tour and getting beat up and just the rough grind of that competition, I'm assuming you can't deny that it helped when you hopped back in that 360 as well as you ran.
It definitely does. It's just, I always say this is the speed of the game, and honestly, everything just slows down when you go 360 racing. And so it just makes it easier. I mean, I'm going to assume that it's just like going from the cup deal to the nationwide deal or something like that. But it definitely did. And going back and running outlaw shows here in a couple of weeks, I think I'll actually maybe do a little better of that just because I got some confidence and remembering how to win.
Yeah.
Wayne, you and I talked. You were my first guest in the post office, and we talked about that. This is a brutal sport, and you've got the confidence has got to be a big factor. No matter where you're racing, when you're racing, this had to be a big confidence booster for you.
Well, it definitely is, and I say this all the time that you see guys go out and just set the world on fire, and I always tell them to ride that wave as long as they can because eventually the wheels are going to fall off of it, and you're going to struggle. So. And it's just one of those deals. You just got to keep positive and keep working and doing the best you can. And I know that running the Outlaw deal the last 2 years has helped my program, even though it hasn't looked like it. But now when we do 360 racing, I just got to get focused on what to do to the car differently than what you do with the Outlaw deal. And that's where, on Saturday night, we still had a good car, but I think I made a couple of adjustments wrong, just having that mentality of the 410 racing.
You talk about going outlaw racing again and having confidence coming off that win, but running a part-time schedule with the Outlaws now, there's got to be a sense of a lot less pressure. Even if you didn't put a lot of pressure, I know your car owner doesn't put a lot of pressure on you, but just to go there and really not feel that like I'm running for points and people are going to notice. It's got to feel better to just go, A, you have a win under your belt, but B, there's no pressure.
No, for sure. And, and I did put pressure on myself. I don't care who you are. You say, I've said many times I don't put any pressure on myself, but you do because you want to do good. And then when you go out and you stink as bad as we had, the last year and a half or whatever, it starts to work on you mentally. And just to go back outlaw racing with a win, is confidence. But our whole theory this year is we're going to race for fun, and we're going to go where we feel like we can run the best, and we're going to go and just have fun at it again because it got miserable. And it's not because of the outlaw deal so tough or whatever. It's just that it's a grind. And, it got to be when you're used to winning. I've won a race every year of my career except the last two. So, when you're used to winning at least some races and not running even well with those guys, it definitely becomes a mental block or something, I'm sure.
So do you have kind of a formal schedule laid out, Wayne, or is some of it set, some of it going to be catch as you go, or how is that kind of going to lay out for you guys?
Well, we put a schedule out, or we didn't put it out. We sit down, wrote out a schedule, what we think we want to do, but quite honestly, everything's just in limbo. We might go, we might not. The biggest issue it's not an issue, it's just what I want to do is if we're sitting here and say we're going to go to Knoxville this week and it looks like it's going to rain at Knoxville, well, then there's a race at Little Rock, Arkansas. Well, we're going to go to Little Rock, but it looks like it's not going to rain. So I'm just, Erin's been there many times. You sit in in the race rig waiting on the rain. And we're going to race for fun, and it's no fun to go sit in the rain. And I'm sure we're going to get caught a few times, but we're just going to go what looks most feasible, and the weather, diesel fuel prices, all that stuff's going to play in effect. But we're still going to race every weekend, and just I can't tell you where.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say some of those rainouts actually, and most of them are miserable, but some of them turned out pretty fun.
Well, some of them kind of makes the next day a little rough.
Yeah. So Wayne, you say that your schedule is flexible, and I know it's only been one weekend in, but you're tied for the lead in the points for ASCS. If you continue to run well with them, would you ever try to stick and run the whole series?
No, we're not going to race anything for points. And the reason we're not, because when you race for points, you're obligated to have to be there.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be obligated for anything. Here in, I'm trying to remember exactly the date, but I think it's the second week of April. I'm taking the weekend off. My Paige has got a dance recital, and I haven't got to go spend the whole weekend with her at a dance recital in over 2 years. So getting ready to, that's what the flexible schedule is going to let me do, the things that I should be doing that I haven't.
So are you going to be hanging out with all those crazy dance moms that I see on TV?
Oh, yeah. I probably, I might ought to, actually, I don't do the thing, but I see a lot of TikTok, so I might ought to do a TikTok thing. There might be a couple of fights or something. You never know.
Yeah, for real. You have to do the hair and makeup, too. Isn't that part of the deal when you're the parent at the...
Well, I'm not in charge of any of that. She's got old enough that she does all that stuff herself. You're just support system. That's it.
I feel like you could become a dance mom. I feel like this could be interesting. I want to see some videos of you at the competition.
Well, I got in trouble last year. I drove all the way from Hobstad to Sioux Center, Iowa to watch a rehearsal.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't going to get to go to the recital. And I drove all night long to get there to watch the recital. Well, I can tell you right now, she reminded me that I slept halfway through it was a whole day. I mean, it was all day long, and I slept through about half of it. And she reminded me, actually last night, that I slept through most of it. So this time I wasn't going to get to sleep.
There you go. Well, yeah, rest up before, that's for sure. That is awesome. No, that is cool. It is kind of neat. It is kind of fun to experience the rest of the world, especially with Paige. My gosh, we've been following along your journey with Paige. She is getting to be quite the young lady, isn't she?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we always go to that, but she, I don't know if I've told you guys, but she started driving.
Oh my. And now I feel old. Not only did you tell me I'm 48, but now Paige is getting her license.
Yeah, no, I didn't call you 48. You guys are gonna have to maybe go get some hearing aids or something, because I said 28.
I'm with Wayne. I heard him say 28.
Okay, our producer has confirmed it was 28.
Hank.
So there we go. Our producer has confirmed 28. Okay.
It definitely was 28.
There you go.
Definitely 28.
Wow. So Paige is driving. There you go. How's that going? Are you the instructor?
Oh gosh.
Actually, she wouldn't drive with anybody until Dad got to take her, and we took her for a couple hours, and she did really well. And she's still, she's still having to go through all the courses and stuff, but she does have the permit to go back and forth to school right now. So I don't know if she's doing it alone just yet, but as far as I know, it's going pretty well. She tells me all the time that she's driving to school, so I haven't got to witness it myself because, they live in Iowa and I live in Oklahoma, but it's pretty crazy to me that you can drive at 14.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah, 14 years old. Yeah.
Wow.
That is something else. That is.
So what's next on the schedule? You mentioned you're going to run with the Outlaws, but they're still out in California. So what's next?
We are gearing up to go to Little Rock this weekend to run the 2 ASCS shows. Potentially, we may go on the following Monday to Las Cruces with the Outlaws. And then the weekend after that, we will be at Lawton and Devil's Bowl with the Outlaws. And so that's the immediate schedule. But like I say, all that subject to change just depending on the weather or if anything else comes up that looks more fun.
Hey, Wayne, I want to put your, you've got a long history with ASCS. Of course, Emmett Hahn, there's a management change this year. Terry Maddox has taken it over. You raced with him this past weekend. Your plan right now is to race with him this coming weekend. Just what's your sense on what's going on and Terry over there with ASCS?
I mean, I see a lot of great changes. The draw was always kind of a pain in the butt because it's just luck of the draw. And this way, now you still draw a pill, but now you get to time trial. And so you kind of got your fate in your own hands a little bit there. And then they use that time trial, and then they add some, and then you get some passing points too. So at the end of the day, I think it's going to be a better deal. I talked to Terry quite a bit on Saturday about the point structure, and I feel like that I found a couple of things that I thought was wrong, and I think they're going to address that. But all in all, I think he's doing great things. I think that there was some changes need to be made there, and I know it's a learning process for those guys, but it all went well on Friday and Saturday night, and I thought they did a great job. And if they tweak a few little things, I think it's even going to be better.
That's neat. That's good to hear. There's great racers over there. There really, truly is. And glad to hear that assessment from your perspective. Wayne, always a pleasure to chat with you. I look forward to seeing your smiling face in Victory Lane more often this year. And when that happens, I'm sure we'll dial you up and chat some more.
Always a pleasure to be on, and thanks for having me. And guys, always you better go back to to your, I don't know what you said, the guy, what he
producer,
is there,
yeah.
Your producer, because I know my accent's a little crazy, but it was 28.
28.
All right. I believe you. Thank you, Wayne. You saved yourself.
Saved yourself.
You redeemed
happy
yourself.
birthday. Make sure Ray gets you something good.
I'm working on it.
There we go. It's awesome. Thanks, Wayne. We'll talk to you again, man.
Yes, sir.
You got it. It's always wide open with Wayne, isn't it? It's always an adventure. He's one of my favorite people on the planet.
Yeah.
I mean, because you just don't really know. You're in the middle of something and you're in the most whacked out, funny conversation. And then the next thing you know, talking about a point structure, talking about this, that, and the other thing. He's so passionate about racing.
Yep.
And I think that's what I respect so much and like about him. I was so happy on Friday to see him win because I know how that meant. I know what it means to him. I mean, I understand he knows that the taking on the World of Outlaw Tour, he knew it was going to be a challenge.
Yeah.
And the thing of it is that he gave it 2 full years of that challenge too. That's a beatdown. That's a flogging.
And for all the success he's had, to have him, people on the internet.
This is not Wayne. This is not the Wayne Johnson that, there was a Wayne Johnson years ago when you rolled into Knoxville. That was the guy that you kept the stopwatch on the whole time. I mean, and we're likely to see that Wayne again.
Yeah.
And it's good to see, that's for sure. So good stuff. Always great to catch up with Wayne Johnson. Stay with us. More Wing Nation in just a moment. Circle B Diecast is the new diecast outlet from Plan B Sales. What started as a Lionel and Chase Authentics apparel distributor has grown into the largest distributor of diecast and now includes Auto World, Greenlight Collectibles, Brand Art, Sam Bass Artwork, and University of Racing lines. They have a huge inventory. The folks at Circle B Diecast love racing, and they support drivers like Kyle Larson, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Christopher Bell, and many others with sponsorships and partnerships. On orders of $20 or more, use promo code MRN for free shipping. You can check them out at www.circlebdiecast.com.
Aggressive Hydraulics provides solutions for virtually every industry that uses hydraulic cylinders. For instance, agriculture, construction, defense, emergency services, energy, food processing, forestry, marine, mining, railway, and even truck equipment. They design and manufacture mobile-style single-stage cylinders as well as multi-stage telescopic cylinders. It's a no one-size-fits-all approach with Aggressive Hydraulics. Check out their story at aggressivehydraulics.com.
Power isn't born, it's built over time. For over 65 years, Hercules Tires has been providing the muscle to move more drivers. Whatever the vehicle, whatever the terrain, and we back it with a powerful protection plan. So wherever the road or the trail takes you, we have the selection, value, and strength to get you there. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
Hercules Tires, right on our strength. We're continuing on, having a great time here, having a ball, that's for sure. Let's get to it. The National Sprint Car Hall of Fame birthday calendar. First and foremost, tomorrow is your birthday, correct?
is
So
my
happy
birthday.
birthday in advance.
Thank you.
There we go.
I need to get with Bob Baker. While
Yeah,
I'm
because
not
your
on.
name was
I
not
used
on
to
the
be
calendar.
in there.
You'd have been because what would have happened is I'm like a very typical guy. I don't know birthdays. You'd have showed up on my Facebook thing, and I've been like, oh, it's Erin's birthday. So I'm glad we got through
Yeah,
that.
I feel like last year you had like some cupcakes or something, wasn't there?
Well, it must be because with that morning, Facebook reminded me as what it was, and I stopped to get some on the way in.
Well, look what you did. You set a standard.
I set a standard, yeah, and it's rare that I set any standards other than low. Later on this week, Spencer Riggs, Albert Buddy Taylor. Thursday would have been the birthday of Russ Clenenden, a 1996 inductee into the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame. His early racing career, he was a mechanic. But then, as we've talked about so much time in the history of sprint car racing and racing shut down during World War II. After the war, he became an official with the Auto Club of America and then moved over to USAC. And with USAC, he officiated over 1,500 events.
Wow.
Always happy, always cheerful, which is amazing for an official to be happy and cheerful after doing 1,500 events. And he passed away in 2002 at the age of 94. But his life is forever enshrined at the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum, one sprint car place in Knoxville, Iowa. And they have that Triple X chassis, Moyle Racing Engines 410 raffle. It's their 14th annual raffle car. Proceeds, that's easy for me to say, going to the Sprint Car Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it's $20 per ticket or $6 for $100. And it's biannual, so the drawing will be this December of 2022. So go to www.sprintcarhof.com for tickets and more info.
Yes, indeed. We love our friends out at the Sprint Car Hall of Fame. This weekend, Friday night, racing action. World of Outlaws are at Bakersfield, and our buddy Rex Lejeune, who joined us last week on the program, they're going to try take two for the season opener at Attica. Saturday, World of Outlaws, they head south to Paris. And then fast season opener up at Atomic, 5,000 to win. We'll see if Buddy Kofoid makes it over there and how they fare. Mm-hmm. And then Sunday, our friends at Sealands Grove open. You know, we've always talked a little bit about Sealands Grove and the awkward place they find themselves in Pennsylvania. Lelands.com, which is Mike Hefner's business, has come on board as the 410 Sprint Car Series sponsor. And get this, Erin, Sunday is the first of 11 410 sprint car races. I think a few years ago they were at 4.
Yeah, they were down to
they
just
were down,
a few.
and it was always a challenge. I know Steve Inch there at the track, and it's like, well, what do we do? How do we, Friday's a brutal night. Yeah, no, I mean, and who wants to go toe to toe with Williams Grove? Okay, Saturday we already have Lincoln, and you can't. Port's just down Highway Route 35.
Yep.
Can't do that. So they went the 360, 358. They've tried everything. But they've been able to finagle with Sundays, and when the Grove runs the Silver Crown cars or something, they fit in as far as that goes. And 11 races this year. A Sunday afternoon kicks it all off. 25 laps, $5,000 to win. So look forward to see what happens up at Sealands Grove. Love that. Love those folks up there and love that racetrack. So good stuff, that's for sure. And speaking of good stuff, as you know, comes up this week with Erin Evernham, and who you chatting with?
We're going to talk to Bertie Stupchen from Race Parts. Yep, we haven't recorded it yet. I'm looking forward to doing it.
Wow, Bertie's
I feel like he's so successful in so many parts of our sport, but a lot of people don't know a lot about him. So I'm looking forward to it.
No, I don't know a lot about him.
I don't either. So I'll find out.
That's good. Yeah. So that's coming up. That'll be this Thursday on our rotating podcast that we have, our podcast series, as you know, with Erin Evernham. This weekend on our Wing Nation program on television, presented by Sage Fruit. Wednesday night on Rev. Saturday morning on Mav. Seth Bergman, after that win Saturday night at the famed Devil's Bowl, joins us. You can follow along with all of us on our social media, Twitter, on Facebook, and all of these shows captured and played and recorded and saved forever on YouTube. So you can do that. So great stuff. We appreciate Wayne Johnson and Buddy Kofoid for joining us here this week. More important than all of that, though, thank you for joining us here on Wing Nation, presented by Hercules Tires, right on our strength.